Now, you might wonder why a woman was chosen to play the role of this daredevil adventurer. The answer is simple, and actually so convincing that we might be the witnesses of a new generation of action games with women as main characters. In essence, the answer is the following. Since we must watch the character during the whole game, it is much more pleasant to look at a woman, for fuck's sake. But it is you that is risking the wrath of the gods, because it is your job to get to the bottom of some very deep and very interesting caves in the mountains of Peru, England, and elsewhere. Find out yourself. You take into a feisty bint explorer Lara Croft, a rebellious rich kid who prefers to spend her life hanging by her fingernails. How the fuck do you hang by the fingernails? Above poisonous spikes, rather than being pampered in a sedate English home by Jeeves the butler. Lara, in all her buxom glory, epitomizes the spirit and adventure that makes her world so charming to all. In fact, it is as much fun jumping on rocks and sliding down or somersaulting off them as it is blasting fist-sized holes in poor, unsuspecting feral canines. Wolves. The thirst that strikes you about Tomb Raider is that it looks unlike anything previously seen on PlayStation. The sumptuous texture-mapped detail is dazzling, particularly as it runs through the whole of such a massive game. Tomb Raider is bound to stir up lots of troubles with the feminists. Lara Croft's unrealistic proportions can only lead to further gender stereotyping and objectification of women. Okay, I'll give you that, but don't forget that's a woman doing what most men couldn't. If that's not a strong woman, I don't know what is. And if Tomb Raider's not a strong game, I don't know what is. Lara herself is one of the most agile and capable video game characters ever created. She has a huge repertoire of moves to cope with every situation, be it crawling along the ledges and only her fingernails. Like, how the fuck does he expect people like, why fingernails? Why just, I don't know. It's like she just claws her into like a rocky surface. Like, oh my god, I don't know. Tomb Raider rarely puts a foot wrong, and when it does, such as the occasional mindless camera work, you forgive it instantly because there are so many clever touches and tricks up its sleeve. Besides, where else are you able to stare at a pair of paired breasts and arse for 4 hours without being labeled a pervert? You know you want to go swim in that water. Make Lara swim. Oh yes, the sound of Lara taking her first aid sound as if she's getting more than just healing pleasure. I think you know what I mean. When you when you enter the game, you'll be faced with a variety of enemies, from wolves, lions, and bears to cast-offs from Jurassic Park. And I don't mean the guy on the toilet. What really impressed me about Tomb Raider is the complete package. Core could have been lazy and knocked out a pretty standard maze game where one lever opens the door and the gameplay was entirely linear, but instead it has taken the bull by the horns and produced something which is truly revolutionary. If you have no patience, then avoid Tomb Raider because it will fuck you up for life. It's got a great main character, immense levels, challenging puzzles and enemies, and wait for it, a plot! Offered the task to set her talents, that's abilities, thanks for that explanation, the concept behind Tomb Raider was at the time extremely original as it took control of a female lead throughout the adventure. Previously, females were nothing more than vixens in games with little substance or value. One of my favorite parts of the game is that the ground shakes as you are chased by a dinosaur, a bit like the scene with the T-Rex in Jurassic Park. I must admit that when it first happened, I was very close to needing a change of underwear. You play the character of Lara Croft, a tough yet voluptuous adventurer, much like Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones was voluptuous? What a fantastic idea! Invited over to a leggy Lovelace house to partake in some sweaty gymnastics, incorporating rolling around on the floor. Stop it! While on her adventure, she encounters one of Natla's hired goons who tries to turn her pretty face inside out. Why the fuck so weird? With the practice complete, it's time for action, and it's action all the way from now on. Okay, not so much action in the first sub-level, but we have been kinda offered the chance to get used to the controls in time for the later levels. Imagine looking around you by turning your head far as you can without turning your body. Now think about how it would look from the point of view of someone standing behind you. This is exactly how Tomb Raider displays the graphics on your screens. You can even see Lara turning her head, torso, arms and legs, just as you would in real life. The third and final way to send Lara to meet the Maker is to jump off a high cliff or ledge. For although she can take quite a drop, she does have her limits, and although I may sound a bit sick, yes you do, it's a top comedy moment, a top comedy when she hits the ground and both her legs go snap. You do sound sick. While swimming, you have a blue oxygen meter that shows the oxygen slowly depleting as you maneuver Lara. Bubbles appear and you hear a blurp blurp sound as if she's exhaling oxygen. Lara could also carry a vast array of items in her petite backpack. Why the fuck are you trying to be weird even about backpacks? Lara is one tough babe. She's lean and mean and doesn't mess around. While you explore the world of Tomb Raider, you can make her walk or run, take your pick. And she must be adept at gymnastics because you can make her flip in any direction. She even has a roll and turnaround move in her bag of tricks. It doesn't stop there, folks! Lara can hang from a ledge, pull herself up, and shimmy across the ledge while holding on with just her fingertips. Her coolest move of all is difficult to describe, but here goes. While hanging from a ledge, she pulls herself up until her weight is resting on her palms. From there, she flips up into a handstand that arches her back so far that her feet touch the ground and she stands up. I'm pretty sure there is a single word that can explain the entire move sequence. My mouth dropped when I made her do this move because it was completely unexpected and looked so real that I swore I was watching the Olympics all over again. This woman probably has a wallet similar to that of Jules from Pulp Fiction. What does that supposed to mean? The first problem is that the polygon clipping isn't always accurate. Depending on the room and your orientation, it is possible to see a polygon that shouldn't be displayed, so you end up with a picture that isn't picture perfect. Instead of Cord and Hugh Grant like floppy-haired dunces, Lara took to searching for ancient treasures and fighting evil Nazi archaeologists for ancient relics. Sound familiar? If Lara was not merely a binary babe and Indiana Jones more than a celluloid cipher, they would have chopped each other's bones on sight. Explorers, eh? What a bunch of tossers. I hate them. They're always upper-class English types with names like Sir Peregrine Ars or Lord Namby of Pembyshire who think they're cool and hard. Cool and hard? Just because they've hauled their flabby backsides out of their favorite leather armchair at Horsey Peace Manor and gone to wade through the Amazon River for a couple of months. They're always turning up on chat shows and going on and on about the hardships they had to overcome, the diseases they got, and all the natives they encountered and no doubt patronized. And then the host starts congratulating them on being so brave, and the audience gives them a brown-nosing round of applause. And I'm left sitting at home wondering why on earth we should praise these stuffy-nosed public school dickheads for doing something so pointless and foolhardy, not to mention expensive, when they could be doing something constructive, like killing themselves. What the fuck? You see, I don't think it's necessary to fly halfway across the world for an expensive and exciting expedition into unknown territory, no. You can do it here in Britain. In fact, I already have, several times. I've been on many grueling expeditions in recent years, including Ladbroke Grove to Hackney Wick during a tube strike, Coventry to Euston Station in the company of psychotic Birmingham City fans on their way to Millwall, and my infamous Andrex quest, downstairs toilet to upstairs toilet with trousers around ankles. I have made use of all the fundamental adventurer skills such as map reading, following indecipherable markings and photocopied party invitations. By the way, there's nothing fucking about Tomb Raider still. Eating unusual foodstuffs for survival, living off chocolate nourishment drinks for 2 weeks during my student years. They contain just enough nutrients to keep you alive and expanding your stomach so you don't feel hungry, although they turn your piss green. And learning foreign languages and cultures. Trying to fathom what on earth women are... for fuck's sake. Trying to fathom what on earth women are on about half the time. So you see, it's possible to be a bona fide explorer type without even leaving these shores. And now, thanks to core design, it's possible to be an explorer without even leaving your seat, thanks to Tomb Raider. A great-looking, pointy-breasted, firm-arsed bird as the heroine. What the fuck does this mean?